Hi folks, it's Richard from Inclusive Driving and welcome to the secret guide to the theory test. Let's dive straight in. Question 1. What should you do if a change in your health affects your driving? And the options we've got are inform the police, inform the driver and vehicle licence agency, that's the DVLA, avoid driving on motorways, or always drive with someone else in the vehicle. Let's eliminate some of those answers. Avoid driving on motorways. I'm going to say that's not the correct answer because your licence allows you to drive on any motorway. Driving on a motorway doesn't require any more or any less care and attention than driving on any other road. So I would suggest if a health condition prevents you from driving on motorways, then it prevents you from driving on any road. Always drive with someone else in the vehicle. I'm going to eliminate that answer as well. As the driver, you are 100% responsible for what happens with your car. So just because there's somebody else sitting next to you who may or may not be a driver, that's not a good answer. You should always be able to drive independently. Inform the police. That seems like a sensible answer, but actually the police are only interested in what happens if your health actually causes danger or causes an accident, and they will investigate. The people you should inform are the driver and vehicle licence agency. You should tell them about a change in your health. They will then get in touch with you. They may get in touch with your doctor or nurse or healthcare professional, and they will decide whether you are allowed to carry on driving or whether you should surrender your licence. So the correct answer there, if your health changes, you should inform the driver and vehicle licence agency. At the end of your driving test, if you are successful and you pass, the examiner will ask you to make another declaration that there have been no changes in your health since you applied for your provisional licence. Question 2. What does statutory off-road notification mean? That's sometimes shortened to SORN. The options are the insurance company know that the vehicle is not being used on the road. The police know that the vehicle is not being used on the road. The DVLA, that's the driver and vehicle licence agency, know that the vehicle is not being used on the road. Or the DVSA, the driver and vehicle standards agency, know that the vehicle is not being used on the road. Let's eliminate some answers. The DVSA, the driver and vehicle standards agency, they are only interested in people being safe drivers and driving safe vehicles. So they're responsible for driving tests and they're also responsible for MOTs. The police know that the vehicle is not being used on the road. First of all, let me explain what does SORN mean. Let me give you a definition. It is basically telling somebody that your vehicle is not being used on a public highway. So it's being kept on a driveway or in a garage somewhere. And it means that because you're not using it on a road, you don't need to pay vehicle excise duty, commonly called road tax, and you don't legally need insurance on the car. Although if your car was stolen while it was off-road, you would still need some insurance to be able to recover the costs of that. So the insurance company don't necessarily need to know that the vehicle has been SORNed, because technically you don't need insurance if your vehicle has been SORNed. So you could have the vehicle off the road SORNed without having an insurance company. The police would be interested if a vehicle was SORNed to say it was being used off-road and it was found on the road. They would be interested there because a criminal offence would be committed. So the correct answer there is that you have notified the DVLA, the Driver and Vehicle Licence Agency, that the vehicle is being kept off the road. What is the reason for switching on your headlamps as soon as it begins to get dark? The options there are to illuminate the in-car display, to be able to see other vehicles, to make it easier for other vehicles to see you, and so that you don't forget to switch them on when it gets darker. Let's eliminate that answer straight away. You should not forget to switch your headlights on when it gets darker. To be able to see other vehicles. So the question is asking about switching headlights on as soon as it begins to get dark. So we're not yet at a point where we can't see where we're going. So being able to see other vehicles isn't really an issue. So I'm going to eliminate that answer as well. To illuminate the in-car display, yes, that's maybe a sensible answer. There is a law coming in soon which will say vehicles must have automatic headlights and must not, they must use the in-car display to let you know if your headlights are on or off. So actually having the in-car display dark will act as a reminder that you haven't got your headlights on. The correct answer here is to make it easier for other vehicles to see you. What should you do if you are following a lorry in the rain on a motorway? And the options here are: move to a lane that has less spray, be aware of spray reducing visibility, ensure you follow the 2-second rule, or switch your headlights onto main beam. Let's eliminate some of those answers. Ensure you follow the 2-second rule is an incorrect answer because the question is about driving in the rain. So wet weather, we use a 4-second rule, not a 2-second rule. Move to a lane that has less spray. That would certainly let you see more, wouldn't it? But we cannot change lanes just to improve our view like that. We would normally change lanes on a motorway if we were overtaking. So that's not the correct answer in this case. Switching your headlights onto main beam, that's not a good answer either, because potentially you could be dazzling oncoming traffic, or you could dazzle the traffic in front of you. And also your main beam headlights could reflect off the raindrops and actually reflect back at you and dazzle you. So the correct answer there is just be aware of spray reducing visibility, and you'll probably need to drive further back from the lorry than you would in dry weather. You are driving at night and you see a pedestrian wearing Hi-Vis clothing and a red light. What does this mean? The options here are: there is an organised walk, there is a slow moving vehicle, there are roadworks ahead, and you are approaching an accident black spot. Let's go through these answers. Let's consider the roadworks. Certainly people doing roadworks normally wear Hi-Vis jackets, but they wouldn't ordinarily have a red light on display. Approaching an accident black spot would normally be signposted with red warning triangles, not red lights. There is a slow-moving vehicle. A slow-moving vehicle would have an amber flashing light, both on the vehicle itself, and it may have an escort vehicle following behind or in front, also displaying an amber light. So this one, we really need to just know this one. It's from the highway code. And if you see pedestrians wearing Hi-Vis clothing and carrying a red light, it's telling you that there is an organised walk ahead. So expect to see several pedestrians. Why should you be extra careful when sharing the road with trams? The options here are: trams are high up and the driver may not see you, because trams cannot steer, because trams do not have a horn, or because tram drivers do not have to have a driving licence. Let's eliminate some of these answers. Trams are high up and the driver may not see you. Yes, they are high up, but they do have good forward visibility. Because trams do not have a horn, well, trams do have a horn. They have a horn and they normally have a bell as well to act as a warning. Because tram drivers do not have a driving licence, they do, but believe it or not, you can drive a tram with a car driving licence. You do not need a bus licence, but that's not a correct answer because tram drivers do need to have a driving licence, just one for a car. The correct answer here is because trams cannot steer. They run on tracks. The driver cannot swerve around you if you pull out in front of it. The driver cannot steer around you if you do an emergency stop in front of it. So that's the correct answer there, because trams cannot steer. What should you do if you approach a lorry displaying this sign on a motorway? And that sign is a keep left sign. The answers here, we've got a choice of pass the lorry on the left, pass the lorry on the right, stay behind the lorry, or drive in the left-hand lane. Let's eliminate some answers. The sign says keep left, so you must drive to the left-hand side of that sign, so you cannot pass the lorry on the right. Stay behind the lorry is also not a correct answer, because the sign is not saying you cannot pass the lorry, it's just saying you must pass on one side. So stay behind the lorry is not a correct answer. Drive in the left-hand lane. This one is a little bit of a trap. If this was on a motorway, which is likely to have 3 lanes, then the lorry could be in lane 3, the right-hand lane. So you could drive in the left-hand lane, but you could also just as much drive in the centre lane if you're overtaking. So that's not the correct answer. The correct answer here is pass the lorry on the left, because that suggests that you could pass it in any lane to the left of the lorry. What should you do if you found this video useful? Click the like button, yes please. Click the subscribe button, yes please. Share it with a friend, yes please. But actually, could you please do all 3? Like, share and subscribe. What should you do if there is a parked car in front of you when you want to move off? The options here are look around before moving, use the right door mirror, signal right before moving, or look around after moving. Let's eliminate look around after moving straight away. You definitely don't move before you've looked around. Signal right before moving. It seems like a sensible answer, but remember, there are occasions when you may decide not to signal. For example, if you have already checked and there is nobody around that's going to benefit from the signal, you may not signal. So I'm going to eliminate signal right before moving. Use the right door mirror. Yes, you would use the right door mirror. Maybe you're parked on the right-hand side of the road, though. The question doesn't specify whether you're parked on the left or the right. So I'd say that's not a complete answer. And in any case, you wouldn't use only one mirror. So I think the best answer here is to look around before moving, because that suggests you're going to look in mirrors, you're going to look in blind spots. So look around before moving is the best answer there. What should you do immediately after joining a motorway? The answers here are stay in the left lane, move to the centre lane, engage cruise control, or stay in the fast lane. Let's eliminate some answers here. Stay in the fast lane is not a correct answer, because there is no such thing as a fast lane and a slow lane. We have overtaking lanes. The option of move to the centre lane is also not a good answer, because you would only move to the centre lane if you were overtaking somebody in the left lane. Engage cruise control. We do encourage cruise control use because it's very fuel efficient, but you would need to assess the traffic conditions first of all before engaging cruise control. So the correct answer here, and according to Driving the Essential Skills, is stay in the left lane. You join a motorway, stay in the left lane to get used to the higher speed driving and just get acclimatized to what the traffic's doing, and then you can consider moving lanes to overtake. Which parts of the car must be kept in good condition? The options here are seat belts, gearbox, spare wheel and engine. And you'd probably think all of those need to be in good condition. What we're interested in here is which parts of the car would create a serious safety concern if they were not in good condition. So the engine, although it's nice to have a smooth running engine, it's not a safety issue if it's running a little bit lumpy. Spare wheel. Not all cars have a spare wheel. It is not a legal requirement to carry a spare wheel. Gearbox. Again, it's nice if your gearbox works nice and smoothly, but it's not a safety concern if it's not working properly. The correct answer here is seatbelts. If you take your car for an MOT, it would fail if the seatbelts were not in good condition. It would not fail for any of the other reasons listed in this question. So the correct answer there is seatbelts. If you found this video useful, please drop me a comment. I'd like to make more of these videos if there's enough of a demand to them. But that's all for now, and we'll see you on another video very soon.